YouTube, what's good? See you later, gaming here, and welcome back to another episode of the Game Lounge podcast. Rocking with me today, as always, is my twin co-host with the most, Eeenaa. Can I get your opening statement?
If you ever come into my store and ask me how to fix your phone, please, I don't know. Don't ask me.
But you're tech support, right?
Absolutely not. I pack boxes. I'm a mailman.
I love it. Make sure our orders get where they want, and then Australia Post is the one who ruins it.
That's right.
And from me to all of our new viewers joining us from the newfound Fortnite video, welcome. This is a podcast that we do monthly, or try to do monthly, and we cover all gaming related topics. This one's going to be completely centric on the Summer Game Fest and all the announcements from that. But to start off, we're going to start off with what we've been playing recently. If you want to take that one away, Eeenaa, you are more than welcome.
Oh, let me see.
What's
so
been in the DS treasure trove this week?
Oh, the DS treasure trove. I haven't played any DS this week. This is like the first week I haven't played any DS.
All right.
I've been playing the remastered version of Saints Row 3 on the Xbox. Yeah, wow. It really got quite an uplift, if I'm being honest. I didn't expect the changes to be that big, but it definitely looks way better.
Saints Row 3 would be what, a decade old now?
Didn't it release on PS3? So yeah.
Yeah.
It's old, yeah. But yeah, it's
2011.
Actually, yes. We are. Yeah, that game is way better actually than I remember. That game's aged pretty well, to be honest. Like, the characters are actually super well thought out and very funny. Yeah, I'm enjoying going through it again. And then last night I started up a Stardew Valley farm on my Switch.
Very nice.
And then look, I've been playing Diablo Immortal.
Diablo Immortal. That's a controversial take.
Oh, it's not controversial to try it, but man, yeah, that game makes me depressed. Anyway, what have you been playing?
I've been playing a bit of a mix of things. Surprisingly, we've got some crossover here. I've also been playing a bit of Stardew Valley. Not myself, to be fair.
Leaky.
Yes, exactly. I've been more of a co-pilot in this situation, and sort of a guiding hand. But I'm sort of not the one holding the controller. My girlfriend's the one, because she's a big fan of those sort of games and big into Harvest Moon, like the old school Harvest Moon.
Yeah, on DS's.
Yeah. Oh, but before that, the NES.
GameCube? Oh, all right.
The NES.
Oh shit! I didn't even realize it goes back that far. That's crazy.
NES? Yeah, I think it's Super NES that we have it for.
The SNES?
Yeah. So she played that one on the SNES emulator, of like one of the custom downloads that I got her, and she was like, "Oh, I love this." But she was like, once she finished it, she was kind of like, "Oh, there's not a whole lot to do in this game." And I was like, "Well, have I got a game for you?" And opened up her mind to that. And I think she just downloaded Minecraft on her phone as well, which is crazy because she'd never heard of that.
Wait, she never heard of Minecraft?
Nope.
Wow, what a blessed child.
Yeah.
Keep her safe.
Yeah, so she's very new to the whole gaming space. But walking her through it slowly with the sandbox type games. So But I myself have been playing Lego The Star Wars Skywalker Saga.
You're a goddamn hero.
Yeah.
Okay, how are you finding it now that you're a bit deeper into it?
So I finished episode 1. I'm on halfway through episode 2. And I still find the lack of structure annoying. Like it's so much more of like an open world game where you can just pick up events and kind of do what you want at your own will, sort of thing. And I found that, like, because I need to get all these achievements and Kyber bricks and shit everywhere, I've just found that myself, like, not progressing. If I was just doing the story, I totally could have completed like 1, 2, and 3 by now.
Yeah.
But yeah, the character swap to C-3PO to someone who can speak a language instead of buying a rumor for 30,000 studs or whatever, and then you try and find that mission, and it's just on and on and on and on. So, look, it's an okay game. It's not like a fantastic game and not something that I'm super thoroughly enjoying, but also given the fact that this was like an anniversary gift, I feel like I have to trudge through it a little bit. So
well, I feel like we have unpopular opinion on that game where we're both not really clicking with it.
Yeah,
where I feel like most people
are. And what else have I been playing? I played the Star Wars Heroes game, that one by Zynga.
Oh God.
Yeah, so that was on mobile. And I don't know if it's just the fact that I've had like a really good string of luck. But I've just won every game that I've played, and I've played like 10 games now. So basically undefeated. Fight me in that arena for whoever's playing.
No, you're this man doesn't know how mobile apps work. He doesn't know the first 10 versus a bots.
It's it's literally just the fact that all the people I've been versing are bots. But yeah, that's sort of what I've been playing for the moment. A little bit of a mix in there, but it's good.
Very cool.
I think now we're kind of going to jump into the depths of it. So we're going to go through everything announced at Summer Games Fest, starting in order. So going PlayStation, and then obviously Jeff Keighley's show, followed by Devolver, and finally finishing up with Xbox. So we can kind of run through just the list, and we can speak to things if you like. We've got a couple of...
I don't have the list for Sony, but you're good to call it out anyway, and I'll just
perfect.
I got you.
Resident Evil 4, Street Fighter 6, Final Fantasy 7. Oh, sorry, 16. Yes, Resident Evil Village for PSVR 2. Horizon Call of the Mountain for PSVR 2. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 Retribution. No Man's Sky for PSVR 2. Sort of a bit of a deeper look at Stray, which is launching as part of PS Plus. Marvel's Spider-Man coming to PC and remastered. Roller Dome, which is by the Oli Oli World creators. Got a first look at Callisto Protocol. Also a season, A Letter to the Future, Tunic, and Eternites. So I think based on initial looks at this, we saw a lot of VR stuff, which seemed to be their key takeaway for the Sony State of Play this go around. With I think about half of those games at least coming to PSVR. What do you think about this heavy investment, seeing that it's something that we've kind of talked about on the Game Lounge podcast now for months and months, of that like question of when VR will sort of have its boom moment?
I mean, they're really going for it. Yeah. I mean, it is kind of like it makes sense in the way that the more of it they show, the more people won't feel like it's a risk. They'll be like, oh, I know these franchises. Oh, yeah, I know these games. Yep. Oh yeah, I'll pay for a $700 VR headset.
Yeah, I think that's
sure. Why not?
The biggest barrier to entry, especially for the newer audience, is just people who are sort of unsure about VR and having, I guess, a depth of titles to be able to pick from as well, because it is essentially like a second console's price attached to it.
Oh yeah,
and especially now going, I guess, heavy into PSVR 2. Getting some bigger titles in there as well, like Resident Evil. I think that game, as we kind of spoke to in our reaction video, lent itself really well to VR and just the horror game style. as well as The Walking Dead, I guess. And Horizon Call of the Mountain, that game looked really good. I think that was one of the.
Oh, we're in opposite camps there.
Oh, you weren't a fan?
I think it looks incredibly basic, but I guess I've played a lot of VR,
Yes.
and like when I look at that and I compare it to something like Boneworks, it's not even close.
Really?
To me, it looks like Sony Baby's first VR game. Like, if you've never played VR, that looks like the game you'd play, if I'm being honest.
I get that. I totally get that too. But it's also weird in the fact that it is kind of like their first entry as like a AAA title to VR, like from a first party studio. So
yes,
which is
makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, some great titles there coming across the board. Anything that stood out? Oh, sorry, you go.
I was gonna say, what was your like top pick from that showcase?
I kind of want to say Callisto Protocol. Like, if I was to look at the show for just the show, given that like the State of Play came out before the rest of it, we didn't see as much of what was to come, which was the space horror. And first look at that, I would have gone Callisto Protocol. Now it's probably Stray.
Okay, cool. Stray's a good pick.
I think Stray was the most interesting out of the list. Season, A Letter to the Future was also pretty cool. I like the art style of that with like that the cell shady look.
Yeah.
What game does it remind me of? I think you alluded to it, of which game you'd got. Like, I didn't not game, it was
it's Studio Ghibli-esque.
Studio Ghibli, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, big fan of that art style.
Or Ghibli, depending on how you pronounce it.
Ghibli. Yeah. What about you? What do you think was like your key game or key thing to come out of that show?
Definitely Season, for sure.
Season?
Yeah, Season was my like something. I mean, that was the first time I had ever seen it. I'd never seen it talked about or heard about it anywhere else other than that showcase.
Yep.
Season for sure, and I think a close second would have been RE4 remake. It looks so good.
Yes, that does look fantastic. Nifty. I guess one of the games that we will talk about just briefly here, Marvel's Spider-Man series coming to PC. So that includes, I assume, when they say series, it'll also mean the Miles Morales in due time.
In due time.
Yeah.
It's not old enough yet, I don't think.
What do we think about, I mean, we spoke about this a little bit in the last podcast, but now I think it's 10 titles of first-party PlayStation games that are now making their way to PC for a greater audience. What do we feel about this? Apart from the money-making potential.
I mean,
that's the big thing.
It's just double dipping. Like they wait whatever it is, the 2 or 3 years it's on their main platform, and then they just shovel it to PC. It's like it's just double dipping. I mean, it's good for business. They should have been doing it way earlier, in my opinion. But
Definitely.
like I think the more important question here is, they see how much money they're gonna make, and don't like their projected profit or whatever is insane. It's like 500 million or something, like in the next year. I wonder why Spider-Man's gonna sell like crazy.
Yeah,
but I think the more important conversation we're having around this is, if Sony is planning to move 10 games, to the PC platform, do we ever see them trial a game where a first-party game releases day and date on PC and PS5 at the same time?
It's weird. I kind of see that happening, especially with their partnership with Epic Games. Like, I know most of these games that they're releasing are also coming out on Steam, but they're also heavily invested into Epic and their platform. So I could see potentially that happening. I don't know if it would be like a title like Spider-Man, for example.
No, I don't think it'd ever be anything that big. But like,
Or
something that maybe like House Marquee makes next,
yeah,
you know? Or
totally. Like I
yeah.
could see a Returnal type game being cross-platform day one.
Mm.
I mean, we've also started to see this with MLB The Show. That's gone cross-platform,
Yeah.
and like Xbox, and I think it was
It's on Game Pass.
it's on Game Pass, which is
Crazy.
yeah, absolutely crazy for a Sony first party with San Diego studios. So yeah, totally. I would not rule that out in the slightest. I think more potential that it happens than it doesn't. It's just a matter of which game and when.
Yeah. That is
Amazing.
fair.
I think that kind of wraps us up for the Sony show.
Mm.
I think we shall move on to Jeff Keighley and his
E3.
E3. Yeah. I'll sort of run through the list again. This one's a bit deeper than what we had previously, so bear with me. Again, we had Street Fighter 6, again, the Callisto Protocol, Stormgate, Aliens Dark Descent, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, not to be confused with the OG one, Flashback 2, Fort Solis, Outriders World Slayer, Witchfire, Routine, Fall Guys Season 1, High Water, American Arcadia, Goat Sim 3, Marvel's Midnight Suns, Cuphead The Delicious Last Course, Neon White, Midnight Fight Express, Warframe, Honkai Star Rail, Zenless Zone Zero, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, Humankind, One Piece Odyssey, Soul Hackers 2, Capcom Arcade Second Stadium, Metal Hellsingers, Nightingale, Saints Row, Layers of Fear, Gotham Knights, Warhammer 40k Darktide, Last of Us multiplayer PS5, The Last of Us TV show, Last of Us getting its PS5 remaster. So,
All right.
lots of things to dissect here.
Well, we haven't given our big brain thoughts on these. So why,
Yeah,
instead of just kind of like glancing over them, do you wanna talk about each one and how we feel about it?
yeah. I think just branching off because we just finished up with the Sony stuff. I think we'll start off kind of at the bottom here with The Last of Us. Uh, I'll start off with the remaster, and this is a controversial topic, but I don't think it necessarily needs one just yet.
What?
I know what. I can see that this is like a massive cash grab. Obviously, it re-released on the PS4 with a graphical upgrade. Because obviously the Last of Us came out on PS3 at sort of the end of that life cycle, and then they dropped it, I think, a year later, or not even, on the PS4, and now obviously new console PS5 drops. I mean, they say I've seen the graphical comparisons and whatnot, and it seems like they've kind of just plug and played the models from The Last of Us Part 2. And a couple of lighting upgrades here and there, etc. I don't know. It was kind of rumored that this would happen, but for me, it's going to be a pass because I can see this releasing as an $80 on-release title as well. So,
Oh yeah, haven't they already announced it? It's like, yeah, the normal $70 and then it's like 120 for a Firefly edition or something.
that's right. They did announce their pricing with the special editions and stuff like that. So, for me, I don't see the complete value in it as yet. It's still something that's kind of fresh in my mind, and even more so for me, just coming off the back of Last of Us 2. So for me, it's going to be a skip.
I mean, it's all for PC, which is interesting.
That's
too.
true.
So, I mean, I guess if you've never owned a PlayStation console, the value is in that.
Yes.
But also, okay, hold on. Would you feel less slighted if we didn't get a PS4
Yes.
remaster?
Yes.
Okay, but would you have been happy just playing the PS3 version at 24 FPS with awful controls?
That's a good question. I think yeah, because what we got at the time was what we got, sort of thing.
Mm.
I don't know. That could be a kind of blindsided approach, but I don't know.
Is it
When you like, it's like when you play games on retro consoles now, and you're like, oh, I don't have all these extra buttons that I have now. I was just playing with this, and I was happy with what it was for the time. And I think that's kind of like what it is for Last of Us before the
Okay,
remaster.
I'm just playing devil's advocate here, by the way, because I don't like the idea of buying it again. But is it really a big deal when Skyrim has been re-released 3 times? From the PS3 era to Switch to PS4 to PS5.
Yeah, it's I think it's the same thought process behind it. I mean, no one actively glorifies Skyrim for being ported to every console.
No, but it's a
or
funny
device.
meme.
It is. It is a funny meme at this point.
But everybody likes that, though.
It's true.
See what I mean? Where this is like negative rep, but I think there might be a bit of a different situation behind that.
Yes.
I think it's the fact that they've said this is built from the ground up, which means they've reworked a bunch of systems, and there's so many IP that is sitting in their back catalog that they haven't touched in a long time, which
Jack
could
and
really.
Daxter, where you at?
Oh, where is my boy Jack?
I keep seeing on Twitter that it keeps circulating someone who's remade that initial island from Jack and Daxter 1 on in Unreal Engine, or Dreams. Someone made it in Dreams as well.
Also, another note with that, someone completely reverse engineered the original Jack game, and you can play it off an EXE on PC.
Whew. Well then.
Yeah, it's crazy. No emulator.
That's sick.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not super into it.
Yeah.
Just because for me it's fresh too. Like I had to play this game as my game. I gave a presentation on at random. We all had to like put our hand into a hat and pull out a game that's potentially a masterpiece and talk about why it's a masterpiece. And I had to play this game on the goddamn PS3.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yep.
And I think like for all standards, it holds up pretty well on the PS3. Like
I think it's
because this is also a decade old now.
Yeah, that's fair.
So,
but I think it's because maybe it's more the problem of its staying power. Yeah. That it feels fresh because everyone remembers it still.
That's also I see that.
But I mean, interesting. It's Sony's first ever triple dip, I guess. So, well, I guess quad if you count PC. So we'll see how it goes for them.
Yeah. A new step into an unseen foray. I guess we'll kind of just briefly touch on the Last of Us TV show as well. So this one just finished filming, I believe, and we saw our first trailer for it. Looks pretty good. Like,
I think it looks like one of the first times I've ever got like the actors kind of right. I think.
Yeah, I think the casting on this is really, really good. The only other person who I've seen who would have been like the best cast ever was Hugh Jackman, and I say that because of how he looked in Logan.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Pedro Pascal, I don't know, he's vaguely ethnic, which kind of doesn't suit Joel a little bit, but I still think the casting is phenomenal. Like, he's a great actor.
I think he'll be fine.
And yeah, it's also directed by Neil Druckmann as well, so and looks to flesh out more of the unseen side of the game.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, good. Love it. I guess for the rest of this, do you kind of just want to pick out and chat about individual things that have been the highlights and that sort of thing for you?
Yeah, sure. I'll start at we'll go with the Warhammer, which is like literally the next one up.
Yep.
This is really cool. So it's made by the guys who made Vermintide.
Yes.
But now we're in like, oh god, I'm not a Warhammer fan. They're gonna
you can't.
They're gonna shoot me. I'm not gonna say which. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna say which like era or like whatever like the setting is because I don't know the lore of Warhammer. My initial thought is like saying I'm not even gonna say it because I'm wrong. But anyway, this time we have guns, so that's
Yes.
cool.
Looks really
And
good.
it looks really fun. I'll probably end up liking this. Like I liked Vermintide quite a bit, but come on, man, that's just something way cooler about having having a gun at your disposal, a gun
Yeah.
against like thousands and thousands of enemies.
Yeah, I think Braden and I said a similar thing when we saw it. Because yeah, Warhammer's like a fantastic game to play with your friends. Because I think Vermintide was the
Warhammer?
last, or like Vermintide.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, tabletop simulator.
Yeah.
No, like Vermintide was the last one I played, and I think that was a great game. So yeah, I think Darktide with guns is going to be fantastic. Well, it looks to be. It's shaping up to be.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to pick one out?
Yeah.
We'll go tit for tat.
I'm kind of going to go back on to the next one in that list with Gotham Knights. So I think it wasn't this one. It was the other Marvel game, which shocked me. But this game looks really good. Nightwing's not a character who's been typically explored a whole lot.
I love Nightwing.
Yeah,
Nightwing's
like his little
one of my favorites.
What are the sticks called? I always forget the name.
Aren't they just stun sticks?
Stun sticks? Yeah. I think this looks really great, especially if it follows that same Arkham games series. I think it's going to be really fun. And as I say, like Robin or Nightwing, whichever name you want to call him, looks really good. And the beat 'em up, the punches seem heavy. The enemies look like same old sort of thing, but yeah.
Really? I think this thing needs to be in the oven a bit longer.
You reckon?
I watched the extended gameplay for it, and it looks a little rough.
Little rough?
Yeah, it looks a little rough.
Did we have
especially for Red Hood?
Do we have a date? Oh, we did. We had. It was this year, wasn't it? Late this year?
I think so.
Let's have a look. Gotham Knights.
October 25th. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's pretty soon.
Yeah, this puppy needs to be deleted next year. I'm sorry. Unless I don't know, they crunch the hell out of them.
Yeah.
But I don't know if this thing will be ready in time. It's looking, especially for Red Hood, he's looking very rough.
Oh no. Oh no. Well, there's still a chance that it gets pushed back. But I guess we'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So another one for me to pull from. Let me just go for a scroll here. So I mean, I have been playing. I mean, Saints Row's on here.
Yeah. What do you think about the 5 GB like character builder for you to have your person ready to go before games launch?
I mean, it makes sense. It's got a ton of assets in it.
That's true.
Like I'm sure it's pulling from more than just like what it offers you.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see how they reboot the franchise. I'm a little worried because the characters seem kind of TikTok-y, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm really hoping they're not TikTok-y. But yeah, we'll see how we go.
Hopefully the reboot's good because yeah, as you kind of alluded to there with Saints Row 3 at the beginning of the show, like Saints Row is, I think, a fantastic game series, and if it's rebooted and done right, it's going to be good. And hopefully,
I think they really came into their own around like two started to like find its feet of what it actually was, because number 1 was just like pretty much a straight clone,
yes,
or trying to be a clone of GTA.
Yeah,
and then 2 they started to get a little more goofy, and then 3 they finally found a good balance between like like funny and goof, but not too over the edge. And I think while 4 was fun, it went too far in the it's like, where do you go from there? Like how do you make a Saints Row 5 once you have fucking superpowers, which is why you reboot it.
Yes. Yeah. Like, I thought 3 was fantastic because that was the first one where, yeah, they introduced more of those superpowers. They had some absurd stuff, some stuff which was banned in Australia.
Oh,
as
the
always.
weaponry, you mean?
Yeah, in terms of the weaponry, the butt slams and stuff like that. You know, bit corny, bit fun, but I think that's what makes it separates it a bit, as you say, from GTA.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how they reboot that.
Yeah, and that one's August 23.
Good God.
So
2 days?
Two
Wait,
months.
No. 2 months.
2 months away.
That's what I meant to say, but my brain lagged.
we time zipping.
Yep.
Love it.
What's another one?
I think one that Braden and I were Braden in particular was interested in when we watched this was Metal Hellsingers. So the rhythm game.
Pick that next. Yeah, dude, I played the demo for this. This thing was sick.
I think Braden also downloaded the demo for this one. I haven't had the chance, but I guess seeing as you've downloaded it, what's your
do yourself
have you played
a favor? Yeah, it's so good, man.
It's good.
It's so I played on my crappy little laptop. It was so worth it. I was playing it like I don't know, like 26 FPS as well, but it was still worth it.
It looks fantastic. Like, and I said to Braden when we were watching this, I thought that like the concept was something a bit new, and I mean, it's not going to be something that I think's necessarily let's played on YouTube or whatever, just because of the copyright music and everyone's going to avoid it. So I reckon it could struggle in terms of like a marketing perspective, but I think the overall concept of like the rhythm game shooter is awesome, and it lends itself really well, because I thought it was like kind of like a Doom in that sense, where you've got like the big shooters, the big action, like tied to the beats.
It's Doom inspired.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, obviously, but it's a hell of a game, man. It was mega fun. I had such a good ass time playing it. Oh yeah, dude.
Did you unlock your inner scene kid when you were when you were playing with all of the stuff from like Trivium and stuff?
Oh, dude, the music's so good.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, and some of it's not like that heavy. Like, it's not like it's not all that. Like, they've got different like real singers from real like metal bands and stuff, but not, not all metal bands are the same, so they're not all like growling. Some just super epic vocals going while you're just like, just going boom boom boom, and it's so cool how all the weapons uniquely tie into different parts of the song, like on different parts of the beat. Like the shotgun, you can't be fully in time with the beat. You have to be every other beat. But you're still in time, but it's a different rhythm, like rhythm. Or if you're using the pistols, then you can be on the beat, because it's like 1 2 1 2 1 2. So it's funny how the weapons change like the tempo of the song.
Yes.
So, and when you activate some of the abilities of the weapons, it actually speeds up the song itself.
That's cool.
So like if you hit, I forget which one it was. It was either the sword or the pistols, I think. But you activated special, and it goes into like, like a guitar going, or like drums going, and then going back out into. It was like a double kick, and you had to just like spam it. Yeah, it was super sweet.
I feel like I need to download this demo and give it a go then.
Absolutely, would highly recommend. Oh, here we go. Goddamn, YouTube's rolled onto. I'm putting background footage in for the people who are watching on Twitch/Eeenaa.
Love it. Yes, good support. I get
what else?
Yeah, this is your pick now.
Oh yeah. Neon White. This game is currently out, but it was at the Game Fest, so I'm gonna put it here anyway.
Yes.
I really want to play this game. It's like a deck building movement game. First person shooter.
Yes.
it looks anime as hell. It looks like it may also have some like dating sim stuff in it.
Yeah. Oh
Maybe.
yeah. I'm now remembering this game, and I was like, yeah. This is
But
this is an interesting one.
yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. Besides, like, it's a deck builder which you use your cards, which are like weapons for
Yeah.
movement. So if you get like a rocket launcher, instead of maybe using that to shoot someone, you might use it to like boost yourself.
Mm.
But yeah, it looks super cool. Every time I see it, I'm like, yes, I will play this. So
yeah, because it's out to play now.
it is. It is out now. Go get it, kids. It's got overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, very cool.
Very good.
Jesus Christ, a fly just flew by my head and scared the shit out of me. What was the one? I think Brayden and I were talking about this one, is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
Hell yeah.
This game looks kind of dope. With the
that's what I've got.
The retro.
I literally played it before I came on here. I just forgot that I played it.
Oh, nifty.
I played through the first 2 stages.
Yeah, because this one's out as well.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass, baby.
Oh, it's on Game Pass? Sick. Because how many people? Yep. I think it was you can play up to 8 people from memory.
Yes.
That's insane.
Yes, you can play as like everyone can be a character.
That's insane. Yeah, because I remember, one of my jokes was like the fact that I just need to find 7 other friends.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's a classic beat 'em up, but like with some nice refinements and some modern edge to it. I'm playing as Donatello because I'm not a fucking savage.
Yeah, good call. Donatello or Mikey, only 2 that you can play.
That's right.
I really like it. I really like the look of it. Obviously, now that it's on Xbox Game Pass, I will probably pick that up. And if you are keen, we can tee something up.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I really like the old arcade style games, especially something like this, because it's not done all too often. And I really like it.
Yeah, no, it's good. Would highly recommend. I mean, I've only beat like 2 levels, but you kind of know what you're getting.
Yes.
And it's good quality. Like, I highly doubt while I keep playing through it, I'm going to see a random dip in quality.
Yeah, very much like the arcade side-scroller, stage by stage. Amazing. Yeah, keen to play that.
Hell yeah.
What else have we got here?
Should we just do one more each to keep the list moving along?
Yeah, keen to do that.
All right. So choose wisely, gamer.
Yeah.
There's kind of a lot of interesting ones.
There are.
Okay. I think I've got mine. I think I know the one I'll do for my last.
Take it away.
All right. So my last one is American Arcadia, which is basically that film starring Jim Carrey. What's the name of it? Truman Show.
Truman, yes.
Yeah. That is apparently what the game's premise seems to be. It's essentially like, the setting is the 70s. It's a retro futuristic metropolis, I guess you'd call it.
Yep.
Where the citizens are all being broadcasted 24/7. If you try to escape, you die.
Yes.
So yeah, really cool, really interesting. I like that it's kind of like a side scroller. It's like a left to right, I think.
Yep.
I can't really tell, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, in the trailer, he does a whole lot of going right.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives me like big Limbo-esque vibes and Inside sort of vibes.
That's what I likened it to.
Mm.
But at the start of the trailer, I was very confused. I thought it was a city builder.
Oh no, I kind of got the vibe immediately.
Oh really?
It's like a man trying to run away from. I can understand it though.
Yeah, because I was like the lady, and then it kind of shows that like panoramic shot of like the city in the background, and I was like, oh, this lady's gonna introduce like a SimCity builder, and it's like gonna be like old style 70s, like low poly sort of, and then it jumps to the shot of like the guy running to the right, and I was like, oh, okay.
in your dream.
Yeah. But no, that looks dope. I am keen for that because I played Inside and I played Limbo. Both solid games.
Oh yeah, really good. Some of the best.
Yeah. So keen to see what happens with this one. But we didn't have a release date for this one, I don't believe.
Coming soon.
Coming soon. Yeah. So
probably next year.
You reckon the next year?
Probably maybe tail end of this year, start of next year. It seems like it's mostly done.
Yeah. It looks to be. Yeah, keen for that. Very keen for that.
Your final one?
I'm briefly going to touch on it, but it's not my game. Goat Sim 3.
Oh my god.
And I'm going to have to Google this, but was there a Goat Sim 2?
No, there wasn't. Okay, that's the joke.
So that's the joke. And what'd you think of the Dead Island lookalike trailer? I thought it was fantastic.
Oh no, I'm in agreement because me and my friend Fraser have an inside joke that Dead Island 2 is never coming out, and he pre-ordered it when it was announced.
Oh no.
And that was in 2014.
Yeah, that game's never coming.
And so I saw this, and I was like, "Why does it look so much worse?" Like I already knew from the shoes, from the camera angle of the shoes. I was like, "What the hell is this Dead Island trailer?" And then I was like, "Why is it so shitty looking?"
I was thinking that they downscaled it, like gone for a new art style, like reboot almost. And then, what do you know?
And then Jeff, the beta Keeley, though, set it up like, oh, you don't want to get bitten by these things. And I was like, oh my god, wait, it actually is Dead Island. Why does it look so much worse? And then no, it wasn't. It was a goddamn Goat Simulator 3.
Unbelievable.
It's very unbelievable.
But for my final game, and this game duped the shit out of me, it's Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Oh, hell yeah.
So obviously what we saw in the show was like a cinematic trailer.
Oh, that's right. I told you what it was.
Yeah, and you told me that it's a TAC RPG, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, so now I'm just completely thrown off. If anyone else in the chat was thrown off by this as well, or only is just learning about this now, please let me know, because I can't believe it. Like, half of these trailers that we saw kind of duped the shit out of us, where it wasn't what it is actually going to be at all.
My brother in Christ, it's made by Firaxis, though.
Yeah, this is true. This is also true. Yeah, but I was like, fuck yeah. Brayden goes, it's the Fantastic Seven. I lose my shit, and I was like, this game looks fantastic. And then I find out that it's a dupe and it's a fucking TAC RPG. I lost it.
Dude, I'm excited.
You're excited?
Yeah, I like XCOM style of games. I think an XCOM style Marvel game is maybe the only one I'll ever play.
Love it. And I guess I just want to touch on this because of the outside news that's kind of come with this. Cuphead: The Delicious Last Course. So there was some news that popped out recently about this DLC, in the fact that I think it was the leads on this decided to care, like something along the lines of them not caring about it coming out late or losing money or whatever, but they cared more about their staff's well-being. And I think just based on like gaming industry news and how poorly people in the industry have been treated, I just thought that deserved a bit of a commendation, I guess, from our perspective, because yeah, as we know, we've seen.
It's so gross though that we have to be like, good job, you didn't abuse your stuff.
Yeah, like it is sad that we're sort of saying thank you for upholding minimum standards for your for your workplace and your staff. But no, that's good, because I know that sort of what it can be like, especially trying to reach a deadline and having pressures to have a game out on time and whatnot. So very cool to see that. Moving right along to the Devolver Digital Showcase. So this one only had 4 releases, so won't be going through a hefty list like we did with Jeff Keighley's E3. We've got The Plucky Squire, Angerfoot, Cult of the Lamb, and Skate Story.
Oh man, yeah.
I don't know. I didn't think that there was a whole lot of takeaway from this.
Oh, you're so wrong.
You reckon?
Oh, dude, I played the Angerfoot.
That one gives me my friend Pablo.
It's like
vibes.
My friend Pedro. mixed with Hotline Miami.
Okay,
that's the vibes that I get, and I played it at the Steam Next Fest as a demo last night on stream.
Oh,
it's very fun. It's very good. Yeah. Super cool, super charming, super chaotic. It's a good one, dude.
Yeah.
Would recommend checking it out.
Okay.
Yeah, don't sleep on it. It's very good. And then also Skate Story may have been possibly the coolest trailer that I saw during the entire not E3. Dude, it looks amazing.
Okay.
Yeah,
it does. It looks cool.
Dude, it looks unreal.
It's kind of what I like. How do I describe this?
This shit blew my mind. Dude, this shit blew my goddamn mind. Like, when I saw this, I was like, this is the most impressive thing I've seen this year.
Really?
Man, if, like, every little detail that you can see is insane. It's crazy. And just, like, the actual skating itself is so impressive to see. Yeah, I don't know, like, when this thing comes out, yeah, I'm gonna play the hell out of it. It looks, yeah, I don't know, man. This was my probably favorite thing that I saw, visually speaking. We'll say visually speaking. It's just such it's just an insane art style, and how the camera works. It's all just so involved and engaging.
Okay.
It makes it feel like more than a skating game.
Interesting. I would not have taken this as being like your pick of the show. Almost.
Oh man. I mean, it's tied with something else, but we'll get to that one later.
Yes, we will indeed. And Cult of the Lamb, Aussie developers for that one. What do you think?
Looks great.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, the art style looks really cool.
Yes.
I've got this one downloaded. This one's available at the Next Fest.
Okay.
As well. From what I remember, it's a roguelike game, I think.
Yep. Yeah, very much like a Binding of Isaac type.
The art style really gives me like Binding of Isaac meets what's
Castle
that
Crashers almost?
Kind of, yeah, Castle Crashers in a way, but also mixed with like I don't know why I want to say Don't Starve, but it kind of gives me Don't Starve energy too.
Flame in the Flood?
Yeah, maybe. I think it's just from maybe the perspective. The perspective is very, when you're playing, is very what's it called? Like I've got a screenshot up on the stream, and it looks very the dimensionality is extremely Don't Starve.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah, it is sort of that style, isn't it? Of Don't Starve. Yeah.
It looks great.
It does. Looks really good.
I've got a down. Faye says that is very Don't Starve. Yeah. So yeah, that was my main comparison when I saw it. But it looks great. So an Aussie dev, so I'm gonna support him. I've got the demo downloaded.
It does.
I'll probably play that on stream. on the next one. So
Oh,
yeah, I'm
nice.
looking forward to playing it.
Very cool. I guess that kind of wraps up the Devolver stuff. Into what is, or what could be called one of the best sides of the Summer Game Fest. We've got a lot of big announcements here. We have Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels, The Elder Scrolls Online High Isle, Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn, some stuff for Fallout 76, Grounded, Microsoft Flight Sim with the Halo Infinite Pelican add-on, Sea of Thieves Season 7, Naraka Blade Point, Ara History Untold, Minecraft Legends, As Dusk Falls, Forza Motorsport, Redfall, Pentiment, and of course the big one from the show, Starfield. We'll leave Starfield to the end because I know that there's a couple of big talking points to that. So let's kind of break it up and go through this list.
Yeah.
What's and I guess all the Persona stuff as well in there. Cocoon. Yeah, sorry, I didn't expand that out. High on Life, all the Persona stuff being brought over. Ravenlock, The Last Case of Benedict Fox. Wolong, Fallen Dynasty, Cocoon, Plague Tale Requiem, Hollow Knight, Silksong, Lightyear Frontier, Scorn, Hello Neighbor 2, and Arc 2. So, I guess, is there something in particular that you're keen to start with?
Why don't we start at the opener that opened the show?
Yes.
Redfall. How you feeling about it?
I think we both shared a similar sentiment when we saw this trailer that it's going to be a really good game to play as long as you've got a group of friends who pick it up. I love the look of the abilities. And I guess, what was the one it reminded me of? Like a Left 4 Dead almost? Not Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead?
See, that's the thing everybody keeps saying. They keep comparing it to Left 4 Dead, but it's open world. That's the thing that I'm like Left 4 Dead is very you go through a linear path. At least I'm pretty sure it's open world. It seems open world.
Was Back 4 Blood open world?
No.
That was linear, wasn't it?
That was linear.
Yeah, that was
I would say it has a similar art style to Back 4 Blood, if that's what you're thinking it looks like.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag, this one. It's probably Arcane's like least visually identifiable game.
Yeah.
Like if I paused a frame on stream and sent it to you, you would have no idea what game it is. Yeah. I mean, it's Arcane. Arcane games are some of my most favorite. Let's not talk about Deathloop. Like, they've pretty much printed nothing but gold up until this point. So, I mean, and hey, man, I like vampires. They've been out of gaming for a while now, and they're coming back really strong.
Yeah. Vampires and space horror games.
That's correct. That appears to be the era we're back in. It's now 2006.
Yeah. It's a resurgence. It's kind of like Call of Duty, where they do boots on the ground jetpacks and just cycle through. This is our vampire space horror era.
Yeah, man. But yeah, it's hard to still tell really what's going on. Like, it's also kind of a looter shooter, because at one point, if you pause the frame, the dude opens like his inventory and there's like blue guns and pink ones and orange ones, the standard. So that makes me think it is definitely not a Left 4 Dead style game, because that doesn't make any sense to me. I think it's going to be like a Far Cry style of game. Like, go here, do co-op missions, go here, do outposts. But with powers.
Yeah, I almost liken it to a bit of like a Borderlands in that regard.
Yeah, because there are the classes. Yeah, that's true. The marksman dude and the the robot dog.
The Boston Dynamics canon dog.
Yeah, that is canon.
Given that they are in the city of Boston. But yeah, given this is another one of those day one drops for the Xbox Game Pass, I think it's going to be a no-brainer for me to sort of pick up and play at some point.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer for everyone to pick up and play it.
Yeah,
and yeah, I mean,
sense.
Yeah, I thought it was a strong opening, but I'm pretty biased. I like Arcane, so
that's very fair. But I think it looks cool. I'm very keen for it.
Yes.
There is one game that's missing from this list, so I don't know where it fit into. I think maybe it was the previous show, but The Quarry?
The Quarry.
I think that wasn't on the list, but it's also out now.
It wasn't in the show either.
Oh, it wasn't? It was in our trailer compilation that we watched.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, it definitely wasn't at the Xbox.
Oh, interesting. Well, yeah, that's one that that I've downloaded but haven't played yet. Because I was kind of keen on the look of that one, but that's neither here nor there. We'll kind of move back to this stuff. There's some great stuff that we saw here. One that I'm really keen on is Cocoon.
Oh, Cocoon! What an absolute based choice.
Is that like the standard choice for anyone who watched the show?
It's made by one half of the team that made Limbo and Inside.
Oh, yes, that's correct. And I guess it kind of makes sense that it was those developers, and it looks good. It looks really fantastic. Like that puzzle adventure.
Yeah, it's a flow game.
Yeah, and the art style I think was pretty cool. There were also some pretty like nifty transitions in that trailer. I remember like where he sort of falls into what looked like a portal, and then
the power of the SSD.
Yeah, and fell into that like new world, and the orb that he uses to sort of, I don't know, how do you describe that? Not generate bridges, but reveal the way. That was pretty cool.
Like emit light on to show them.
Yeah, I think that was pretty cool. And then the little tuggy thing that he did to the what do you call, like the little box on legs. So cool little. Oh. I think I'm struggling to describe these, but
it is a indie platformer.
Yeah.
Puzzle platformer.
Best way to sum it up without me sounding like an idiot. Yes, I think it looks really cool, and that would definitely be a pickup for me, and probably one of my games of the show.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just on pure what the fuck factor, I'm gonna have to bring up High on Life.
Yes,
man,
the Rick and Morty game that says it's a different game, but I still see as Rick and Morty.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people really liked this, by the way.
Yeah,
like this was very well received.
I get big Sunset Overdrive vibes from this. Sunset Overdrive crossover with obviously just like Trover Saves the Universe and Rick and Morty stuff. So yeah, lots and lots of crossover there.
Yeah, it's a very strange one. I'm guessing it's just a linear FPS narrative.
Yeah,
is my guess.
Yeah, it looks to be. I mean, that's what it looks like from the trailer. I'm just seeing if there's anything else here in the description that sort of says a bit more about it. Travel to various planets and locations, fight people, collect loot, meet characters. Yeah. So it almost sounds like a kind of looter shooter with a wacky art style.
It is certainly wacky.
Yeah, to put it lightly. Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested for idea and concept and look alone, if nothing else. Yeah, very very strange. I'm gonna have for my game, I think something that both of us were interested in was The Last Case of Benedict Fox.
Yes, what an absolute champion of a choice.
Yeah, I think this was a nice one too. Also follows that sort of inside Limbo American Arcadia side scroller style game. This time with left movement as well.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. This is next gen, people. Yeah, I think it looks really awesome in terms of art style and gameplay and whatnot. And almost...
It gives me, for people who haven't seen this listening to the podcast, it's kind of like in how it looks like it plays, it's more Ori in the Blind Forest. Or just Ori in general.
Yes.
Because there's a bit of combat, there's a bit of traversal.
Yep.
And it would appear, but it's kind of a mystery game too. You're kind of like figuring out. Obviously, it's called The Case of Benedict Fox, but yeah, it's the art style is super dark, super dank. But it's just got so much style to it, so much flair. Like when he's like running down the stairs and his hair's like bobbing up and down, like just little things. It's super well animated.
Yes.
And combat looks really fun, to be honest.
It does. Yeah, they're calling it like a Metroidvania, I guess.
Yeah.
In that sense.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And also, got like powers and stuff like that, so it's not just a shooter as well. So he's got like nifty abilities that he seems to pick up, which is pretty cool. And then obviously the story behind it, which obviously yet to be revealed, but also sounds like it'll be pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that was one of my key games from the show as well. Was that one? Looks very fun, and also another day one for the Game Pass, which seemed to be the common theme for the show. And I think something else that we didn't really touch on, but the fact that just all of the games that they showed weren't games that are coming like 5 years in the future, which I really appreciated. Yeah, all a 12-month timeline. Obviously that's fingers crossed for no pushbacks or delays or whatever, but it was great to see that all the games were not giving out too much in that sense.
You know what I wouldn't mind though? Like that's great that everything's coming out in 12 months and stuff, but I think you should be allowed to, like, at the start and at the end, if you don't have like a big closer, you can like show something that's like 2 years out or like a year out, I think.
Yes.
Because then that just gets people hyped.
Yeah.
Which I think is better than like, if you don't really have much going on for your opening or ending. Like, for example, like Redfall is not as big.
No. I did not think that was a big opening.
Exactly. So my point is there, I don't know, I think you show something that one of your, like I think you showed like, like Avowed or something, like Obsidian's like Skyrim, and show what's going on with that, even if it's just like another little teaser or something,
Even if you cut 5 minutes from your Forza Motorsport like scenery.
Hey, we needed to see every second of that waterfall, and it.
They held that frame a little too long just for my liking.
They always do.
Yeah, but no, I agree. I think that would be cool.
I've got a based choice of a game that looks cool. That's right, Pentiment. Yes, this is Obsidian's little tiny team that's been working on it. Lead writer is Josh Sawyer of New Vegas fame.
Yes.
It looked really cool. It is a murder mystery set in ye olden times.
Yeah.
But one thing that I learned after the fact is that the art style actually changes as the game goes on,
I was
because it's
just
like,
checking that through like the screenshots in this. It looks a little different.
yeah, so apparently at the start of the game it'll start like really kind of like watercolory
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, and then it'll eventually, progress into what the art kind of looked like at the time, like
Yeah,
going
and the
through the
font
eras.
changes too.
Mm,
To be more like handwritten script, whereas like starts off with more like that Times New Roman-esque.
yeah, exactly.
Very
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, it looks really cool and interesting, and I mean, I'm a big fan of anything Josh Sawyer does, so I'll definitely be checking out. He's just such an amazing writer, and storyteller,
Yeah.
and this will have all kinds of endings, like just way too many.
Because you said during the prezo that you've been sort of following his journey along on Twitter a little bit, in
Oh
that
yeah,
sense.
he was so stoked. He's so
Yeah.
stoked about this game. And obviously you would, like, if it's something you've been making for so long.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, like I don't know. To me, like, I feel like a lot of people will look at this and go, "What the fuck is this?"
Mm-hmm.
which is fair for snap judgment of casual gamers. But
Yes.
this is where I'm like, thank God Game Pass exists, man.
Oh,
Because like someone will
totally.
look at this and go, like, that looks interesting a bit, and then they'll start playing it, and then they'll get really invested in the story, and they'll be like, wow, this is really fucking good. Actually, I never would have bought this.
And then people on Twitter will say, "There's nothing on Game Pass."
There's nothing on Game Pass, people. Please
It's true.
unsubscribe. um but yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be for everyone. In fact, I imagine it's probably going to be for about 2% of people, but those 2% of people will probably love it.
Yes. I'm going to touch on something which isn't on this list, but it was a big
Oh,
announcement from the show. This was sort of their big moment that wasn't exactly a game reveal. Hideo Kojima showed up at the show,
uh,
and announced that he was using Microsoft's cloud-based technology, for a new title that he's working on. Obviously, no details at this stage, but
there you go, chat.
yeah, as we sort of spoke about in our reaction video, was like, if you get Kojima, you don't really need to have a game behind it. You just say, "Hello, I'm Kojima," and people will scream and that sort of thing. But
I think that
what do you think
I think
about
that
this?
I think it brings into like a broader question of like like Xbox finally going like really trying to capture the Japanese market, which is a market they've never been able to really break into, right?
Yeah, it's been heavily dominated by Sony, and
For obvious
PlayStation.
reasons.
Yeah, being their
Uh,
home country, but
hmm. But
something.
like
Oh, go on.
it's a crazy partnership.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just like, you get the big dog at the top, and fans of Kojima, like especially from Japan, are gonna be like, okay, well, obviously I'm gonna like play this, and it's only gonna
Yes.
be an Xbox, most likely.
Yep.
Um, but it's also just the fact that Uncle Phil went and also got the Persona games, which
Hmm.
is insane,
Yes.
and also got Wulong Fallen Dynasty, which is made by Team Ninja, which is
Mhm.
the Neo games, the Ninja Gaiden games.
Yeah.
So they're going big on Japan.
I think it's because, yeah, as you sort of touched on there, that it's a market that they've not had any entry to before, really.
Well, yeah, very little success in Japan,
Yeah.
relatively speaking.
So I think that this sort of sets them up for the next 12 months at least to say, hey, we've got some entry into the market.
Mm. Well, there was that one week where Xbox outsold the PlayStation in Japan.
It's true.
There was one week, and
It
that's never
happened.
happened. It's never happened
Yeah.
ever before. By the way, that was the first time in history Xbox has ever sold more than Sony.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
Absolutely crazy. Um, and it was I actually saw a quick note on this Kojima thing post that announcement. He put out on Twitter that he was like he still has a good relationship with Sony and obviously wants to keep doing stuff with them, but given that his studio is independent, he decided to kind of LeBron James it and take his talents to Xbox and Microsoft and see what he can do with this cloud game service.
Oh,
So
he's just a mercenary.
yeah, literally,
Whoever gives the biggest bag, he's
literally.
in.
So yeah, I'm very keen to see what he'll come out with, especially given that he specifically mentioned the cloud-based technology that they have.
Azure.
Yeah, very, very, very keen to see what the brilliant mind of Kojima comes up with. And that's, as we say, probably a year or two away before we even get a trailer or anything. At least.
Yeah.
But cool nonetheless.
I mean, should we pick our one of the show?
Yeah, I think this is the big one that everyone's sort of been waiting for.
Is yours the same?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Very cool. All right. Obviously Starfield.
Yes.
Starfield is official.
Yep.
We got 15 minutes of it. Well, actually, we say 15 minutes. What we mean to say is 2 minutes of Todd. 13 minutes of the game.
Yes. Todd had his moment in the spotlight, as usual.
Look, I kind of want to hear what you think about it first. It's not like you're a BGS fan, but you're not like, you know, like a chronic addict like I am. So what do you think, being a normal human being looking at Starfield?
I think it's super ambitious, and I like that. I think there's certain points which I think are really cool, and some parts which I can see need a bit more polish. I'm a big fan of, like, as we can sort of see, space is taking more of a forefront and entering the foray in 2023 by the looks of it. I think the 1,000 Planets stuff is cool. Keen to see how they sort of generate that. The customization of the ships and outposts. Yes.
So you think the planet thing is cool?
I think it's cool, but I've also seen things like No Man's Sky, which haven't necessarily delivered on those 1,000 planets. Because I think you could give this game like 10 years in terms of a QA process, and I think some planets are still not going to be polished per se.
All right, I'll circle back to all this. Keep going with your high educational thoughts.
Oh, you want me to go big brain here?
No, just give me your impressions.
Yeah, I think the customization of ships and outposts was pretty cool. I really like. I think we briefly spoke on this with the like Oblivion style chat system. And a lot of people are comparing this to other games from Bethesda. And even No Man's Sky. I more see this as an Outer Worlds.
Okay.
And I personally really liked Outer Worlds as a game. I think that there was some that did really well in terms of that. And it's weird to say, but when I played Outer Worlds, I was like, oh, this is a Bethesda game.
They share a lot of DNA.
They do share a lot of DNA. So I think I like the overall look of it. I like the concept. I like the feel. Gunplay looks clunky.
Generous.
Yeah. So definitely needs some more polish there. But I think overall looks to be a fun game. Obviously, yeah, very, very little that we can sort of forecast at this stage. But no, I think early stages looks good. And yeah, because basically what I've heard is that it's finished, It just needs, like, they're using the next sort of, how long is it that they're using
They
to...
haven't given a date.
Yeah, they haven't given a timeline or date for that, but I think
My guess is
spring.
he's gonna go for the 3rd of the 3rd, 23.
Oh, you reckon first quarter?
Yep. I think
Ooh.
it's going for the 3rd of the 3rd, 23, because that's the next juiciest number.
Okay. Okay. Um.
Write it down here, chat.
Yeah.
I'm
Put
I'm
that down.
putting my flagpole down.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking more later, but yeah, that's my general thoughts and
Oh, actually, I figured out
etc.
the date. Never mind, I'm an idiot. It's gonna
Oh,
be the 23rd of the 3rd, 23.
yeah, that fits. I like it. All right, Mister Bethesda Stan, please
Oh man.
take the floor. It's yours.
Okay. Look, I'm gonna keep my hype down. All right, I'm gonna be as critical minded as I can now that I've inhaled the trailer and
Mm-hmm.
watched about 30 million videos on it,
Yes.
breaking each frame down. I'm gonna give my high level thoughts. So let's start with the first thing. The performance in the trailer was not good. And
Mm.
I mean like a bad 30 FPS.
Mm.
Like it was not stable whatsoever. God, I hope that it is not like that at launch. Obviously, I think it is playing on a Series X
X.
console here,
Yeah.
and I'm going to say it's on a quality preset and not a 60 FPS preset.
Yes.
However, you should not be doing a gameplay demo
No.
on these settings. You
Mm.
should be putting it on the biggest supercomputer possible.
Yes.
But in saying that, it is good to see realistically what the game is currently like.
Mm.
You know,
Agreed.
we're like at least, you know, I don't know. I think we're still at least like, whatever, 6 to 9 months out. You can do a lot in 9 months
Oh, totally.
for fixing this kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um gunplay gunplay is something that is interesting where everybody says it looks clunky,
Mm.
but so does the start of Fallout 4. Like, think about it. In Fallout 4, you start with a pipe pistol. It's a piece of shit. It handles awfully.
True.
Where in the trailer, he's fighting level 1s and
Level
2s.
ones,
It
yeah.
could just be the fact that you have bad starter weapons, as you do in most games before you upgrade to good ones.
I was more so
Um,
referencing animation, but also yes to the clunkiness of like the weapon and
mm.
the
so,
mechanics of
so
it.
it could be the fact that they're bad early game weapons, or it could also just be that it looks rough. But I guess that comes into the balance of how do you balance futuristic weapons that potentially have no recoil? Because I think that's what they're missing,
Yeah.
like a punchier sound and like heft to shooting it.
Mm.
But you know, we don't know how these weapons work in the future. Like we have no idea. So
It's true.
how do you fix that?
They rewrite the
Um,
rules.
that's right. Okay, next thing.
Man's got
Facial
a fucking
animation.
list.
I do. Facial animation is way better for BGS.
Mm.
It's way better. They can move their eyebrows.
Mm.
It's crazy. It's crazy out here. Like people have been saying they're like, oh, they've still got like the Bethesda dead eyes, and I'm like, I don't really see it, but like I guess I get what people are saying, but I don't agree really. I think the animation system is way better overall. Looks much better.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, as a whole, customization looks sweet. Creating character looks dope.
Yep.
Giving them traits, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. I'm glad they stole that from New Vegas. That's awesome. Giving a character a background,
Mm-hmm.
really cool. And it's really cool too that these traits have like real game impacts. Like I said, I've watched 6 million videos on it. There's one trait you can pick, which is you get a starter home, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like on a little cute moon, but you start $50,000 in debt.
Nice.
which is just super cool. And then there's one where it's just like your parents are alive and you can visit them, but they take 10% of your money permanently.
Jeez, thanks, mum and dad.
Exactly. And that's so cool. It's so weird and interesting. But yeah, the armor all looks amazing. The settlements that they showed off, I think, look really great. The story that they're trying to tell, like with this, whatever these like artifacts and stuff are, it's like pretty standard sort of stuff for sci-fi. But I think BGS games are more equipped with their side stories really than their main. Like their mains are usually like pretty decent, but it's usually the side stories that interest me the most anyway.
Yeah.
Factions. It's cool. There's now an evil faction. You can be an evil bastard. Sweet. That's what we were missing. Because in Fallout 4, you could only be like a jerk. You couldn't be like outright evil, which sucked. Because it's an RPG.
Yes.
So that is cool. Perks and stuff. Combat. Like the upgrading. Cool. It's more involved now. So it's like you take a perk, but then you have to like do challenges to upgrade it so you can get the next level if you want it. That's cool. It's more engaging that way. Outposts, like it's cool, I guess. More of the same, just looks more refined, as you would hope, because good lord, building in Fallout 4 was janky as fuck. Okay, now here's my main issue, which is I think is most people's, is that 1,000 planets. Todd,
it's
shut the fuck up, Todd. It's what do you think? What are your thoughts on the 1,000 planets?
I think it's very No Man's Sky promisey. I think it's going to be too much of a promise because no one's going to go through. And the fact that you can land anywhere on the planet is the fact that gets me. It's not like a section of a planet that you can land on and traverse. Like the fact that there's 1,000 planets that are going to be most likely procedurally generated.
They're all procedurally generated. Every single one.
Oh, yep. Yeah. So I guess that they'll build out a template for maybe 20. And on each planet, they'll change the surface, color scheme, and shaders. And they'll say this is a new planet. Sort of thing. Yeah, I just really hope it's not like the No Man's Sky promise where they'll have to backtrack and keep developing it to build back trust sort of thing. Because it is ambitious to want to do 1,000 planets that all look different and all have life and all have different resources and factions and whatnot.
Oh, that's the thing though. Some don't. So Todd did an interview on this, and to his credit, he said you're not gonna want to really explore every planet. But he's like, in our system, we have planets that are boring and have nothing on them. And he's like, you should look at these potentially as resource planets. Like you set up an outpost, set up crew members which can run that outpost, and then passively you gain that material. And I'm like, that's fair. That's fine. Like a resource planet, that's cool. I think it's more the thing of you. I think people are going to think that it's going to be necessary that you should explore these planets. I don't think so. From what I saw in the trailer too, there appears to be like icons on planets if there is a structure there. Like it literally came up with an icon on it saying structure.
Okay.
So I don't think you're really going to be like blind, having to like scour an entire planet to be like, is there something here? I think the game tells you, which I think is smart.
Yeah.
But there might be some hidden stuff on some of them too.
But even so, with like bases and whatnot, I don't necessarily think you need 1,000 planets for bases and resources.
Oh, you don't. But like, I think that's just more for like the exploring side of it, because like, let's say if flora and fauna are both randomized, I wouldn't mind, today I don't really feel like doing any missions, but I feel like exploring a couple of planets and just seeing, what's on them, grabbing a few resources while I'm there. Like, I don't know. It's kind of it's a hard sort of premise where it's just like, yeah, it's too many planets, and he's like, well, you don't really have to engage with all of them, and you don't have to land at like each individual part and stuff, but it's just like, this is the best way I could see these planets being useful. Modding.
Yep.
If each modder is just like, hey, I've modded literally a storyline and like a new hub world onto this particular planet, and you download it, and now that planet is full of life. Could you imagine the modding potential of having these 1,000 planets? It's basically just like,
see, that's cool.
just a bunch of maps.
I can absolutely see the mod potential for this.
The mod potential is crazy for this game. I think with having all these planets, it adds it's like an incredible base for modders to just go, okay, I'm gonna make story content, and it's gonna be on this planet here, because you know, some of the planets might look really cool from the procedure generation, and you know, that can spark ideas from modders being like, this planet's sick. I'm gonna put up like a sick, like, you know, space mystery up here. I don't know. The modding potential for it's cool, but yeah, the normal potential of it is terrifying.
Yeah. One of the questions that I have for you, what do you think of the fact that you're not going to be able to take off from a planet and seamlessly transition into space?
Thank God.
You're happy with that?
Yeah. Okay. It's a space RPG. It's not a space sim.
Okay.
What I think that means is that they'll be able to put more detail from this generation onto the planet itself, and being able to have, because if you go to No Man's Sky, like structures, they're not very detailed, and the, like, you know, aliens and stuff in them aren't very super detailed either. Whereas when you have like a loading screen, it allows you to, you know, cut between like one existence and another.
Yep.
Like it just leads for, I think, higher fidelity and ease of craft. I don't need the whole fly onto the planet thing. Plus, I hate doing that shit in games. It's nearly I hate parking a goddamn spaceship. It's so difficult. But I mean, I guess that's something we also didn't really talk about, was you can fly in space, which is pretty cool. I mean, it looked pretty. It looks rudimentary, but it looks fun. Like, I didn't think it was going to be crazy. I think you summed it up when you said the game's ambitious. I think when you look at its parts individually, it doesn't look as great, right? When you take them apart individually, but it's the fact that it's doing it all together in one go.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I'm keen though. I'm keen to play it. Keen to give it a go. Be nice once we have like an official release date for it too. I think that's the only thing that people are sort of wanting that we don't have at this stage. But
wait, how do you feel about not being able to fly to the surface of the planet?
I think it's something where I'm like, it would be a nice feature, but it doesn't necessarily need to be there for me to, like, I'm not going to hate the game because it doesn't.
It also, I kind of like it in the way it kind of gives me like Mass Effect vibes.
Yeah.
Because in that game, you never flew like your ship, you just landed on the planet. And I kind of think I'd much prefer the game to do that for me anyway. If it's the same means to an end, like, what's the difference between having a cutscene play me going down at the planet and me just like actually parking?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But I guess I'm lazy, so. But dude, you already know, man. You already know modders are gonna add that shit in.
Oh yeah.
Like, they will add the ability to fly onto the planet's surface.
They definitely
I do not
will.
doubt it. I do not doubt it for a second. These are all just things that come with time.
Yeah.
Like anything that seems like a missing feature, even though Todd's just like, no, that was intentional. So, you know, we can split the process of loading and how much detail we can have on them.
Yep.
But if you got like a monster rig, dude, nothing's going to stop you from downloading a mod that allows that to actually open up for you to fly down there.
No, very true. Very true. Well,
but yeah, very cool.
We wait with bated breath.
Intrigued. We do. Damn it, Bethesda.
I think unless we have any closing notes, that kind of wraps us up for the Game Launch podcast. Do you have any closing notes, Eeenaa?
What? Well, I got one final question,
Ooh.
which is, what do you think was missing from any of this year's showcases that you're surprised didn't show up?
Ooh. To be fair, I didn't go in like watching any predictions videos or whatever or articles, so I kind of went in with a blind approach this year, which I kind of liked. But I don't necessarily think anything was missing per se. I think that the PlayStation one was pretty bare. And I think there was too much space horror.
There's a lot of space horror.
There is a lot.
It's Dead Space remake.
Callisto Protocol. Also, the fact that like Sony didn't like half their games that they showed were shown at the Summer Game Fest show as well. Like they showed Callisto Protocol, Street Fighter, and then they were shown the next day, sort of thing.
Well, and it's funny too because Callisto and Street Fighter are not PS exclusive.
Yeah, no, literally. So yeah, I don't know. Was there anything that you were sort of expecting to see that didn't show up?
Yeah, like a Gears announcement.
Yeah,
I think so.
That could have been a big one for them to announce at like the opening.
More so, I think like a remake of or a remastered bundle of all the games.
Yes.
That's what I was kind of expecting from things I was hearing, and I was like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense, but did not come to fruition.
Interesting.
Yeah, but
not ruling it out though. Not ruling it out for future years. Definitely has potential. Not. Gears is surprisingly big. Like it's way bigger than I thought it was.
Yeah, me too. I was like, who plays this? But apparently a lot of people.
The comp scene is massive for it, which I didn't realize.
I mean, I guess if you think about it, what third-person action game really exists anymore like that? It's pretty much just Gears.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like the only other multiplayer thing that I could think of for third person was like when Mass Effect 3 had that really cool like co-op mode.
Yes. Yeah, that was good. That was really good.
Yeah.
Actually, one quick question before we wrap it up. Who was your, and I think it's pretty obvious, but who was your winner in terms of shows? Was it Jeff Keighley's E3, PlayStation State of Play, Devolver, or Xbox?
Look, I'm gonna have to go with the Xbox on this one.
Yeah.
I think my order would be Xbox, Devolver, Keighley, Sony.
Yeah, I think mine sits very, very similar to that. Yeah, I think Xbox had an amazing showing this year, with some great exclusives, some great games, some great ports. And I guess as well, another thing which we didn't mention on that Xbox list was the fact that they brought over all the Riot stuff.
Oh yeah, that was huge.
That's a massive win for them. In terms of getting like literally every single skin for League of Legends.
No, we've been over this. It was every champion.
Every champion.
Every champion for Valorant.
Every champion for Val.
Some skins for TFT.
Yes.
Some cards for Runeterra. And what's their other game? Mobile Wild Rift.
Yes.
All champions for Wild Rift.
Yeah, which is fucking insane.
It's thousands of dollars. Yeah. It's thousands.
So good on Xbox for pulling that one off, and the Kojima stuff. Like this was a fantastic showing for them. Games aside, if you were to exclusively put those two things in the show, they're massive for bringing in new audiences and just their Game Pass offering as well, like because that's all through Game Pass as well with that Riot, which poses the question: do you reckon if someone has a Riot, if someone uses Game Pass to get all of those champions, etc., and then they cancel their membership, will their Riot account still have it, or do you think it's tied to the Game Pass?
Oh no, it's absolutely tied to Game Pass.
Yeah.
You don't give away thousands of dollars for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Massive.
Yeah, no, that's definitely tied to Game Pass. Otherwise, that's a great loophole.
It is. It's a massive loophole. But no, amazing showing. Great to see some cool stuff coming up. 2023 is looking to be a goated year for video games.
Oh man,
very, very keen for all of this.
Yeah.
Eeenaa, do you have a closing statement?
Dude, next year we're gonna be in a coma.
Yes.
Of video games. Everything is releasing next year. I don't know how. We've got Breath of the Wild 2 coming next year, and all this other stuff. It's such a Starfield's in there.
Yeah.
Redfall's in there. Probably Spider-Man 2's in there.
Yep. Yeah, we got God of War, the next God of War, Ragnarok.
It's meant to still be coming out this year, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. But yeah, as I say, 2023 looking like a goated year for video games. So stay tuned for all things gaming news. You can keep it right here at the Game Lounge podcast. We'll be back next month bringing you all the freshest news. And until next time, we'll see you later.
Bye.